What's up, suckers? Tonight, I want to set a serious tone and talk about something that I think about all the time. And that is, why do we play WoW? What is it about this game that has captured us for all these years? And why is WoW dying? I think the answer to both of those questions are entangled with each other. There are many reasons, I think, why people play WoW. First, let's talk about PvP. I think that's the most sensible reason to play WoW. You are actually beating another player and you're gaining satisfaction. Yes, when you become successful at it, it does have a measure of repetitiveness, all right? When you run a ton of arenas or a ton of rated battlegrounds, you keep doing the same things over and over again, and there are no new worlds to conquer. However, it never really gets old to beat up on somebody else. That's the thing about PvP. You're always beating a human. And that is why PvP in and of itself is one of the reasons that we play WoW. And that it's one of the reasons people keep coming back. If you're good at beating up on another human in a game, there's always, you may get bored with it for a while, but there's always a reason to come back to get that rush of, I still got it. I can still beat up on other, I can still outplay other humans. That's a pretty primo reason why people might play WoW. But what about the PvEers? What about the people who never PvP? What about the people who think PvP is overrated or get frustrated with PvP and not very good at it and don't feel themselves improving, or just don't have fun in the PvP aspect of it? For many reasons. Well, they're PvEers, right? So why do they play WoW? I'm a PvEer right now. I haven't PvP'd seriously in years. I've been PvE for the last 4 years. Why do I play? Why do we play WoW? Well, I think a lot of it, it's going to sound kind of pathetic, but a lot of it is a sense of progression that we don't have in real life. We can play WoW and build progression, build progress in a project in a way that maybe we're no longer doing or never did or aren't going to do in real life. I think that's why people play games in general. WoW has 1,000 ways to progress, 1,000 ways to build progress and feel good about yourself and say, hey, look at me, I have progressed. But why WoW? Why not a phone game? Why not Call of Duty? Why not Battlefield? Why not Minecraft? Why WoW? Well, a lot of it, I think, is inertia. We've gotten good at the game. There's a lot to know about the game. And the fact that my daughter got involved in this game in the last 30 days as a new player who had been out of WoW since she was a little girl, okay, couldn't even remember really playing WoW. Watching a new player approach the game of WoW, and we're talking about the retail version, and seeing how overwhelmed that she was at first, but how that overwhelmed feeling gave way to just shock, just cold shock at what we're doing in this game. She realized, trying to get Pathfinder, which is flying in the new world in retail, she realized trying to get Pathfinder that all of WoW, all of her WoW experience distilled down to running 5 quests each day from a smattering of 12, repeating over and over and over and over again because she wanted to fly in the new world. How absurd it seemed to her. How completely crazy she thought it was that they thought this was a game. They thought that they had put together some kind of game that was fun to play. I mean, 3 weeks in to level 120, and she's looking for the exits. There is no game here. There's no here. It is daily quests, grinding, boring grinds. She loved the thread of quests that would take her through an entire new world, an entire new zone. She would do every single quest and loved it. And she thought, wouldn't it be amazing if waiting at the end of one of those threads was Pathfinder, the ability to fly? Duh. But no, she got to the end of all those threads, and yet she could not fly. And here she is, doing all of those quest chains, everything on every island, and yet she now has to grind to fly to do what? She's already done all the quests. What good is it to fly in the new zone when you've already done everything? Oh, you don't know, Tracy? It's so you can do your dailies more easily. That was about it for Tracy as a new player in WoW. She bought her 30-day subscription. I bought her BFA. She won't be back. Why are we? What part of this is a game? Where is the game in the game? I don't get it. I don't know why we play it. I mean, for me, up to this point in retail, the fun has been sitting here in a Mythic, trying to do Mythic bosses by myself with 5 tunes. Okay? That's a game. Solving puzzles, solving problems, saying, yeah, I got that boss down. That's a game. That's the part of the game that I like. But I built that game for myself. From nothing. I built that game as a multi-boxer, just making it up as I go along. Would I play this game if I was soloing? I really doubt it. I really doubt it. Unless, going back to the PvP thing, unless I was PvPing. Why else do people play? Well, I mean, people play for the reason Tracy played. They want to discover a new adventure. They want to discover a new world. And to Blizzard's credit, a vast credit, they have incredible content, just unfathomably deep content. But is it really deep? How deep is it really? You know where the depth is? The depth is in the design work, the things that you look around and see. Is the depth really in the quest design? I'm not so sure. I mean, I will say this. I did a whole bunch of quest lines in BFA, and the voice acting was surprisingly good. For once, I turned my sound on. And I actually, these were alliance quests, by the way, and I actually went from quest to quest because I wanted to hear the sound of those actors' voices more. You know, I wanted to experience the voice acting. It was kind of like a movie for me. It was like watching a movie. That was good. That was a true positive. What happens when you get to the end of that? Nothing. Dailies. Now, they did give us a gamified thing to do, and that is run these horrific visions, which I have to admit were fun and challenging. But I didn't get to 5 crates because I got bored. They're fun, they're challenging, kind of repetitive, okay? Kind of repetitive. And to get to 5 crates, it's going to take a lot of repetition of those visions. So what are they doing? What is Blizz really doing? I have to give you a full confession here. I don't know a lot about WoW. I only know what's in front of me. Okay? There's a lot of things going on in BFA and in 8.3 that I'm not even aware of, frankly. I mean, I know nothing about professions. I know really very little about the latest state of the battlegrounds. And there's a lot of things, there's a lot of content I don't even know about, I'm not even aware of. I'm sure of it because I only recently discovered the multi-box mount. Okay? So if I'm a multi-boxer, I'm not even aware of the multi-box mount, how much other content am I unaware of? So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But hear me. It is my opinion that WoW is running mostly on inertia. People who got into the habit of playing it, who are just going to keep playing it. Take a look at my wife. She's got 27,000 achievement points. She's going to keep going. Okay, she wants to get a little more achievement points. Maybe be one of those people who get over 30,000. Whatever. But she's got that kind of momentum. And when Tracy looks at achievement points, sees Monique with 27,000 and Tracy has 300, that is not going to inspire anybody to say, hey, I want to invest 10 years in this game so I can catch up to them on achievements. No, you're not going to catch up ever. Okay? You're going to be long gone and on to the next thing. So I'm having kind of a crisis here. I cannot rationalize continuing to pay Blizzard for something that I don't see as a game that stands on its own. I wouldn't solo. Something I wouldn't solo. I would never play this solo. I only play this because I'm challenging myself with multi-boxing. And, I mean, for that reason, it makes me wonder, is this it for me in retail, in any sort of paid capacity in Blizz? I mean, I've already bought Shadowlands on 5 accounts. Am I going to play it? I don't think so. I'm paid out till October, all right? Maybe a little beyond because of Recruit a Friend. But I don't think I'm ever going to subscribe again. Ever. And a lot of you know me. A lot of you know that, hey, I make statements and sometimes I take them back. Things change. But I don't see it. I can't answer the question, what's good about this game after my experience with trying to play with Tracy? I mean, we would get on Discord and we would play together night after night for about 2 weeks. It wasn't very fun. It just wasn't very fun. A lot of quests, when you're with a group, are no challenge at all. And the things that they're asking us to do to get something like pathfinding are as absurdly boring and detestable as you could possibly imagine any phone game being. They need to find the game again. They need to get back to gaming. Right now, this is a massive commerce system for people to sell services to other people. That's what it looks like to me. If you hang out in trade chat or world chat for more than 10 seconds, you'll get the gist of what this game is running on. It's a farm system. A farmer's farm, the suckers buy. And we're the suckers. So, what are we to say then? Is there no fun to be had in WoW? I don't know. I mean, obviously, people are doing it. I mean, the private Warmane servers are packed. And the retail servers and the classic servers, they continue to have customers. But a lot of it's nostalgia. People grew up playing it. They like the flavor of it. But it's not really a skill game in the way Call of Duty is. It's not really a skill game in the way Overwatch is. I mean, you target somebody and you press buttons and you try to react to the spells they're casting. Okay. I mean, that's 2004 technology still being done today. What if you couldn't target anybody? What if you actually had to hit them with spells by lining them up and pointing in the proper direction? What if it was more like FPS? That would be much more skill-based, possibly more interesting. It would not be WoW, though. And a lot of people would leave because they don't necessarily want that. So I'm having a lot of fun on private servers. I'm having a lot of fun on the private Wrath of the Lich King server, but that fun will probably run out when the progression runs out. When I get to the point where I can't progress anymore, I get bored. Everybody does. That's the key to the answer. Why do we play WoW? We play WoW because we can progress. And when we can't progress, we don't play WoW anymore. We always quit. When we stop being able to progress, we get bored and we quit. What is this progression that we are striving toward? Is it something we can take to the bank? For 99.99% of people, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I'm one of those people. Is it something real? Is it something that people will appreciate in mixed company? No, it's not. In mixed company, people do not want to hear about you getting item level 470. All right? They just could care less. Even if they understood what it meant, they still don't want to know. All right? Even WoW players roll their eyes back and get bored when other WoW players are talking about their progression, because progression appears to be a completely personal thing. So that leaves the third reason why people play WoW. And it's the most important reason for many, many people, and the vast majority of people. And that is the company of friends. Being in a guild, accomplishing something as a guild together, having those friends. That is a great, great reason to play. If you can generate a bunch of friends that you go online with, don't have a lot of drama, and are able to play and achieve amazing things in Raid, of course, that's why you play WoW. I don't play for that reason. Probably I never will play for that reason. because there is too much drama in guilds. And there are too many douchebags in guilds. And I don't have the time to hang out with douchebags. On the other hand, guilds need to pick a time to raid. And once you start picking a time to raid, that's like telling me I have a job that I got to show up for. And for me, it just doesn't work, which is why I multi-box. Everybody knows that. Anybody who's watched my videos extensively would know that. So why keep playing? No reason. Inertia. What else am I going to do? I have fun streaming at times. I have a lot of fun streaming. I can get a lot of laughs falling on my face on my stream. I can also take a lot of pride in doing something that nobody's done. For me, that's a reason to do it. But I can do that on private servers and not pay Blizzard. Why don't you want to pay Blizzard, Furyswipes? Are you cheap? No, I'm not cheap. I don't want to pay Blizzard because I don't trust Blizzard. Blizzard is absolutely not to be trusted as a multi-boxer. On any given day, Blizzard can simply say, hey, follow doesn't work anymore. Multi-boxing is over. Or even worse, multi-boxing is banned. Well, I mean, look at everything I've invested, all the time, all the money I've invested. Am I trusting that Blizzard will let me keep multi-boxing? Look at what Hazel had to say, right? This is a fairly famous streamer, okay? I want you to listen to what she has to say.
I suppose it's just been a little bit since we've had Heritage Armor, and with Shadowlands, it's easy to imagine that we're probably not getting a new base race average for most people is also a good quality of life change. It is arguably a good change for most people.
Okay.
The gold power users, there are many people that play the game specifically because the economy is fun to them, and this will break that for a lot of people.
She's talking about
Blizzard is essentially.
She's talking about a change to the auction house that is throttling power users using Trade Skill Master.
You're saying that
she's one of them.
The price they're willing to pay is to effectively turn off that portion of the game for the people that enjoyed it to try to give a better benefit to the game as a whole. So I'm not here to say if they were right or wrong to do that. Obviously, I'm a TSM user, and I've made a lot of gold using TSM, so it does kind of negatively impact me, although I do understand why they did it. I will say, though, that making that decision to greatly inconvenience the top end and most vocal part of their player base in order to potentially smooth things out for the middle pack is something that people will remember, and people will expect them to continue to apply that logic, because you're not allowed to make nuanced decisions when you're a company. You do one thing once, and then you must do it that way every time, or else you're a hypocrite, in the public eye anyways. So the thing that brings up for me is that a lot of these arguments that you can make against add-on-driven auction house automation being detrimental for most people, you can apply a lot of that logic to multi-boxers. Multi-boxers are also a very small percentage of the community, and they arguably have a negative effect for a lot of people they encountered. They can negatively impact economies, they can have negative impacts in world PvP, and Blizzard has continued to kind of like quietly allow that for a long, long time. So if you get rid of TSM but continue to allow multi-boxing, there's going to be a lot of people that see that and then assume that the only reason Blizzard continues to allow multi-boxing is because those people pay extra sub fees. Because one of the main arguments for not banning multi-boxing is that, well, we've allowed it so far, so many people play the game like this, and that's the only way they play. And you can say the exact same thing about auction house power users, so.
All right, you get the gist. This is a major streamer who I watch a lot of, and there's nothing new about this attitude. When major streamers come out against multi-boxers, you need to duck, because Blizzard listens to these major streamers. Now, of course, they've been speaking against multi-boxers for years, and Blizzard hasn't done anything, kinda. Although many of us have been banned this year. But if the winds change and Blizzard decides, well, we can sacrifice this group of extra subscribers, multi-boxers, who I pay 10 times as much as a solo boxer. We can sacrifice those groups because they're such a small number to favor the soloers. As soon as they make that decision, it becomes an economic one. And it doesn't matter if you've bought 5 Shadowlands. You're done. So why, without giving any assurances to us, by the way, why would I continue to risk investing in my MMO account when it could be pulled at any moment? You can hear it in the tone from the Blues. They always, when they speak about multi-boxing, and they're saying it's allowed, they always open up with the same expression. Multi-boxing is not supported by Blizzard. Really? Wonder what they mean by that. I feel like what they mean by that is we can change our minds about it at any time. So be careful. And I mean, for me, having invested, $1,000 this year into Blizzard, it definitely gives me pause when they ban all 10 of my accounts with no warning. I never recovered from that, by the way. That May 21st ban, that pretty much killed my spirit. It did. I didn't talk about it a lot on stream. But that May 21st ban, the fact that it hit so many of my guys, it wasn't just 1 or 2. If it was just 1 or 2, I probably would not have cared. If it was just me and 2 other guys, and everybody else was like, "No, man, nothing happened to us," probably I would not have cared as much. But they just simply banned everybody. And I don't know, man. There was just something very cavalier about that action. And especially the denials, which has happened to us before. Okay, we say, "Hey, we're not botters. Can you please not do this to us?" And then they say, "No, we checked. You are botters. We did research. You're botters." And that's the first response that everybody got. I mean, it wasn't just our automated system caught you botting, and there's no real appeal for that. It wasn't that. It was we checked, we double checked, and you're botters. And of course, we're not botters. You couldn't have double checked. If you had double checked, you would have seen we're not botters. And that response was also unacceptable. And I don't want to ever see that response again. And yet here it is happening again on June 20th, 1 month later, to one of the guys on my streams. So is it any wonder that I gravitate back toward private servers when we're spit on and crapped on, not just by the haters, they're always going to be there, but by Blizzard itself? I went to the IS Boxer Discord when the first ban wave happened, and I tried to interact with Mirai. inventor and creator of IS Boxer, he's not a nice guy. To me, anyway. He wasn't supportive to multi-boxers in general. He was supportive to his guys, but I did not get a warm fuzzy from this guy. And his statement was unequivocal. And believe me, I understand. He's a businessman. He's making a life here. This is his stock and trade. He gets paid for IS Boxer, and he doesn't want anything disrupting his business. I get that. And it's the reason I'm kind of giving him a lot of leeway here. But his statement was, and this was a very interesting statement, Blizzard has never mentioned by name any multi-boxing software that is approved. Not IS Boxer, not HockeyNet, not AutoHockey, not Octopus, not anything you've ever heard of. They've never whitelisted anything. And to me, if I'm that guy, I'm like, really? They've never said IS Boxer's okay? No, they never have. So I'm living in constant fear of my entire business plan being trashed by Blizzard. And they could do it with a memo. IS Boxer would end overnight. So sure, I get his nervousness and I get his skittishness, but protecting multi-boxers protects himself. Standing up for multi-boxers is what a multi-boxer like he should do. But he didn't. He was only worried about his own guys. And that kind of affected me too. I didn't like that. So, I mean, the only real safety, if you're going to call it that, is in controlling your own world. And you can only control your own world by running your own servers. Believe me, I get the irony that, oh, Furyswipes, if you're on private servers, you're just stealing Blizzard's work and you're playing their game, but you're not really paying for the work the artist created. I get that attitude. I understand where you're coming from. But I wouldn't be there if I felt safe on retail. And I do not feel safe on retail. So, long rant. Still wondering why we play. I'm going to continue to support retail. I'm going to continue to support classic. I actually, you know what? The other day I did that video of playing classic, retail, Wrath of the Lich King, and Burning Crusade all at once, using the same files. You want to know what? I felt most comfortable in classic. In classic, I felt like I knew what I was doing the most. And that could be the reason why a lot of people are drawn back to classic. The retail world is so vast and so huge that it's extremely difficult to know everything about it. Maybe that's what draws some people to it. But the classic world, it's a comfort zone. You can know everything about classic, and a lot of people do. But I really felt like, when I was running my classic team, I felt like, yeah, this is where I belong. I'm really good at this. I remember this. And I definitely felt myself obviously be better than anything I do in retail, anything I do in Wrath of the Lich King, anything I do in Burning Crusade for sure. However, I'm all classiced out, guys. I'm all classiced out. Give me a year. Let me come back to it later, but again, is there going to be a later? Are we going to do this? Are we going to keep paying? You know, one thing I'm not going to do? I'm not going to buy huge chunks of time anymore. That's for sure. I bought 6-month subscriptions. Do not do that. Just buy tokens from people. You can buy a token for a month cheaper than a Blizzard subscription. Blizzard doesn't get the money. Somebody else gets the money. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Stick it to Blizzard. Or play something else. Let's find something else to multi-box. Let's find new worlds to conquer. Maybe non-Blizzard worlds. All right, suckers. Keep liking, keep subscribing. Hit that notification bell. Because you never know when the winds of my mood will change. And I'll recover from these doldrums. Later, people.